cafe. Anyway. Look at that.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Here I am. It's, I missed a day, but you know, I need a little time off sometimes here at Cafe Anyway, Podcaster Valley.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That's where we are broadcasting live for you. Isn't that exciting? I think we're gonna get some stuff going. Gonna go riding into the sunset with you and my horse, Nilly. Oh wait, that's Benita, the real rodeo queen's horse, not mine. Dang it. Well, that's what the song is.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That's what we're calling a song today, so I hope you liked it. And it is FF episode...
Mike's
What?
Daily
Could it be?
Podcast.
FF episode 2000?
Yeah!
2400? It is FF episode 2400. We've made it to 2400, which is fitting. My mom, who passed away recently, her birthday was on the 24th. So that number means something. 24. 24 is also one of my favorite holidays. Christmas Eve. Christmas Day? No, Christmas Eve. I loved Christmas Eve because we'd open the presents on Christmas Eve. And we would eat the delicious bratwurst and the delicious mashed potatoes, bratwurst, sauerkraut. That's what we would have on Christmas Eve. I know, it's St. Patrick's Day. What am I doing talking about Christmas Eve? But yes, love the 24th. So here we are on the 17th, which was actually the birthday of another great person, my friend Derek's dad, Don. He's no longer with us either, but his birthday was on St. Patrick's Day. Was he Irish? No. Wait, maybe a little bit. But we're going to celebrate St. Patrick's Day and green stuff and just good things going on in our world. There might be one or two good things. We'll discuss all that. And yes.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The podcast picture is going to be of something very profound that I don't know what it is yet. I should probably find it. Should it be something to do with St. Patrick's Day? Maybe. Maybe that's what we'll do. You know what, though? I have to tell you, Rodler the cat, who you've seen in podcast pictures, has been missing today, so that's not good. Hopefully, we'll see him soon. But, you know, somebody who wasn't a fan of cats was the late, great Basil the Boxer. Yes, I'm sure he would not have approved of any of the cats. Yes, I understand, Basil. It's true. I get what you're coming from. Oh, we'll go with this cool picture from Ormond Beach in Florida. I was there recently. See that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com. Celery. Right now, I'm cooking something in the oven. Has no celery whatsoever. But on the whole, people buy celery and it goes soggy and icky and ick in the fridge, and people don't use it. But you should use it. Why? It's low calorie and it's nourishing, and you need some nourishment. Nourish. Wasn't there a guy named Michael Nourish? Oh, Michael Nuri. He was in a lot of stuff in the 80s when I was watching TV a lot. But long, lean, and green, celery is a hydrating vegetable that is 95% water with a mere 10 calories per large rib of celery stalk. 10 calories. This crunchy, fiber-filled vegetable is jam-packed with antioxidants, and in a world where you make a lot of stuff that is unhealthy for your body, antioxidants can help a lot. And a variety of beneficial plant compounds such as apigenin, a flavonoid that can help fend off inflammation, because that's what our bodies make a lot of, is they get inflamed from all kinds of stuff. So it fends off inflammation, certain cancers, damaging free radicals, These darn Free Radicals. No, I thought they were a great band. But of the 90s, was that your favorite band? You Only Get What You Give? Or were you a big fan of Fastball? Did you know that the road that we walk on is paved with gold? Won't make it home and never get home. Or was it Smash Mouth? Or was it The Wallflowers with Jacob Dylan? I did not realize that on that song, 6th Avenue Heartache, it's a guy from another famous 90s band. The Adam Duritz of Counting Crows is singing with him on backup, doing the high harmonies with him, or sort of trying to harmonize with him. Let's see, also in the 90s, we had Foo Fighters got popular. The Nirvana in the beginning of the 90s, which had the drummer, of course. And then later on, we had the band in the late 90s. We started seeing bands like Linkin Park. Red Hot Chili Peppers in the 90s as well. Yes, taking you on a little road through the world of 90s music. And you know what else happened in the 90s was yours truly was writing songs. And recently I found a CD that had a lot of music that I had made. I burned a CD, and what I used to record the music was a cassette. But it was one of those machines that would split the cassette into 4 tracks. Because a typical cassette, when you were listening to it, it had a left channel and a right channel, because that's how you got stereo, was left and right. But with this device, it would actually, so you had going one direction, you have a left and right, going the other direction, you have a left and right. What it would do is take all 4 of those tracks, and you could use them and record all kinds of stuff. And oh, did I have fun with that. And the only problem is, yes, sometimes I'm singing off key, and sometimes I'm not playing the keyboard correct. That was my instrument of choice, the keyboard. But it was, as we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcaster Valley, occasionally there would be a little kink in the cassette tape. Cassette tape was not entirely perfect, or at least the cassettes that I was using. Dave Matthews Band, there's another one. Oh, that's a little sore point with some of you who don't like Five for Fighting. Remember them? Ondrasik was the guy's last name. And I talked to him once, hung out with him in Port Hueneme in a nice little spot at their, they got a performance space in Port Hueneme. Port Hueneme gets bashed and people say nasty things about Port Hueneme. It does have its bad parts. But there was this little spot in the park, and we're hanging out there. There's a creek, and he was about to perform for us at the radio station I worked at. Very nice guy. And he played the piano, and I appreciate that. So this picture is from Ormond Beach, in this historical area, historic district. Check it out at mikesdailypodcast.com. Celery may also help with digestive health and contains vitamins A and K, very important for you, as well as potassium and calcium, which can help keep blood pressure and cholesterol levels to check. Vitamin K, good for your blood. Raw celery is a snacking favorite for dipping into hummus, salsa, or yogurt-based sauce. I am not a fan. I'm not a fan of dipping celery. I am only going to dip celery into ranch dressing, and that's not good. It is a tasty ingredient in classic recipes, such as potato salad. Okay, I like that. And Waldorf salad, although overwhelmingly not the healthiest stuff. Fill a celery rib with peanut butter or cream cheese for munching on the go. Oh, and then some people would put raisins on top of that. You've just described to me the most disgusting looking snack. I remember parents, don't eat a candy bar. Or, grown-ups. Don't eat a candy bar. Eat some celery with peanut butter. I'll put raisins on top. No, it looked like ant. That was called ants crawling up a tree, wasn't it? Something like that. Healthy, but disgusting looking to me. I did not like the taste of that. However, celery is good for soups. It does amazing jobs when it's cooked. It does an amazing job in soups and stews, and I love celery and that stuff. And if you're making, okay, if you go a little less on the mayonnaise and you throw it in there with some sort of fish like tuna, or maybe you mince up a sardine, that can be a delicious thing on a sandwich. You can put it in a smoothie for a refreshing antioxidant-rich punch. I haven't tried that yet. Toss celery and other veggies with extra virgin olive oil, herbs and spices, and roast for a simple and nourishing side dish. Have not done that either, but that sounds pretty healthy. Along with carrots and onions, celery is part of the trio of aromatic vegetables called mirepoix, I think is how that's said. Used as a flavor base for a variety of soups, stews, and sauces. What about celery juice? I know you were asking that. The upside of juicing celery is that it's hydrating, low in sugar, and about 5 grams of naturally occurring sugar per cup, and loaded with nutrients such as potassium and antioxidants. You can try incorporating celery juice into a balanced whole foods eating plan. Celery juice to me is probably the most disgusting juice ever created on the planet Earth. Sorry, God. Oh, maybe God didn't create celery juice. He just created the celery. But if he... Can I tell you a joke in honor of my late great mother? This is a joke. She loved this joke. May I say it to you? Now, know that I work for I work for a company that has a lot of talk stations, and one of the talk stations that I help manage, I manage 5. One of them has, actually 3 of them are Christian based. So not all Christians are going to like this joke, but here we go. She said, my mom said, when God created man, she was only joking. That's mom. That was mom. My mom was a rebel, but very conservative. She had a Trump sign on her front lawn. Hey, here's a little thing. I was watching the wonderful, or listening to, and there I said I was watching it. I was actually listening to it. Fresh Air. I love making fun of Fresh Air. I love making fun of Terry Gross. She's been that host of that show for 30 years plus. Had a lot of amazing guests. Has one of the top podcasts on earth, probably. But her most recent guest said something very interesting. And it was with, oh my gosh, they have no description of the guest. This is how they do their podcast. They just upload, let me see. Okay, Mary Elise Sarote, or maybe it's Sarote. She wrote a book all about NATO and Putin. And it's very fascinating that what got Putin to the top in Russia was Boris Yeltsin. He wanted to quit. He was done with running Russia. And he said he wanted to just go off and retire. And he found Putin, and he knew Putin was good with helping people, helping corrupt politicians not get indicted and not get into, they live peacefully. He helped them get off scot-free. So Boris liked that about him. So that's how Putin got into power. Interestingly, there's a particular guy who used to be our president that loves Putin so much, will not say a bad word about him. And it's interesting how other politicians, there are more than one, many politicians, actually, more than I would have thought, that are huge Putin lovers, even despite every horrible thing he's done lately. Fascinating. But this is why. Because Putin knows how to placate the corrupt politician. He knows politicians are corrupt. He's corrupt, but he knows how to get certain politicians off scot-free, as it were. How did we get with that expression? Scot-free. Why? What's the deal with Scott? What did Scott do? Let's see, scot-free. It came from, we have a word. It's an early 16th century is where it came from the old word shot-free, which is not subject to the payment of scot. And scot also meant tax. Like tax-free. Interesting. Well, there you go. So, something to remember, if anybody you know is pro-Putin, be very aware of them. Be leery. Be careful. Because, not that I know politicians, all politicians are corrupt. You know a politician's lying? When they open their mouth. Yes. Got it. Okay. Anyway, that little side note. Fascinating interview with this historian, Mary Elise Serrati. She brings up a lot of interesting things. In fact, she more than anyone apparently, went to the Clinton library and said Clinton and Boris Yeltsin had a very close relationship, probably closer than any other, well, since Trump and Putin, but, overall, very close relationship with his Russian counterpart, Clinton did. And so there must be a lot of interesting stuff that is classified that she said needs to be unclassified so we know more about that relationship. And after 3 years, they finally unclassified a lot of it. One of them had to do with Boris Yeltsin and his underwear in Washington, D.C. I think she said some weird story like that. So, but yes, because of Boris Yeltsin, we have Putin, and there you go. Back to celery, shall we? One other idea, toss celery. Oh, let's see, what does it say here? The upside of juicing celery is that it's hydrating, low in sugar. You can incorporate celery juice into a balanced whole foods eating plan. It also mentions here a recipe about celery, pecan, and apple arugula salad with a cider vinaigrette. That sounds incredibly healthy. All of this from the Costco Connection and Vicky Shanta Retianery, who is a Chicago-based registered dietitian, nutritionist, and lifestyle writer. Thank you. Well, I think we'll leave it there. Talked about corrupt politicians, celery, 90s music. I think we covered everything. We're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. Look who is here. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How's y'all doing?
It's a disgruntled fiddle player. Tell you what.
What?
You better not say anything mean about Trump. I mean, your mom had a Trump sign on her front lawn. You should know better, being her son.
Wow. Okay. Thanks. Disgruntled fiddle player, you are like a troll.
Thank you. I don't know what that means.
Well, thank you for not playing the fiddle around us, because you're a disgruntled fiddle player. You don't play the fiddle because the fiddle disgruntles you. I don't know. Look who else is here.
Oh, Mike, I make the delicious root beer. Have some right now. Hey, bro.
Is there any celery in this?
Yeah, drink it right now.
Oh, no. Ooh. Okay. Celery root beer. Get it? Next show. It's, who is it? Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Thank you for listening to the show. If you'd like to chime in and say stuff and talk with your mouth and give me other origin stories of the phrase scot-free and whatever phrase expression you would like, just call me. 336-MM Daily. 3 + 3 = 6. MM is in Mike Matthews. Daily as in what this podcast is. Oh, what was your favorite 90s band or musician? Yeah, that's a good question to leave with. And here, taking us out, is Ephraim.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!